Hello everyone, my name is Aaron Diaz and I am an information technology student. In this presentation I am going to be going over the ethics and concerns of an individual's right to privacy on the internet. In this presentation I am going to briefly introduce the issue of privacy on the internet and growing concerns about it, how companies and government track an individual's internet data, how individuals also willingly surrender their data in some instances, as well as provide a final analysis of the ethics of the topics discussed in the presentation. Let us begin. Individual privacy has always been a concern for people since governments first formed, and many countries over the years have implemented laws to protect the right of privacy of its citizens. With the exponential growth of technology in recent decades, however, it has become difficult for laws and consumer education to keep up with privacy threats posed not only by companies that we interact with, but with our own governments as well. Our increasing connectedness to the internet in our everyday lives has its benefits, but also provides challenges to privacy and can lead an individual's information vulnerable online. Companies and the government are constantly acquiring data on customers and citizens every day. And these are some examples of how an individual's information is collected and tracked without their explicit consent or even knowledge in some cases. Companies collect this information through the use of browser cookies while you visit their websites, or through tracking your movements and data through the use of their applications and technologies such as wearables and smartphones. The collection of this data can provide companies with useful metrics to adjust their algorithms to create a better user experience, such as saving login information on their websites so that you don't have to constantly log in every time, or save information to a shopping cart so that you can continue shopping through multiple web pages of their site. But this can also be used to create aggressive targeted ad campaigns by selling your usage data to third-party advertisers. Internet service providers, or ISPs, are also companies run with examples such as AT&T or Comcast that store all website and internet usage data from your network and then use this information to send it to governments that might ask for it. Government also possesses a lot of individuals' data without their consent, and a growing space for this is with facial recognition software. It can be used to help police identify criminals, but it also means that law-abiding citizens are constantly being monitored. All of this unwarranted collection of data has many Americans feeling like it is not possible for them to conduct their daily lives without being recorded or having information and data collected on them. This makes it harder in modern society, and almost 62 to 63% of Americans believe that companies and the government that they reside in collect this data from them. In addition to individual privacy rights being violated unwillingly, many individuals also willingly surrender or expose their data information online. A large and growing concept called the Internet of Things, or IoT for short, is the idea of many separate devices being connected and communicating with one another over a local network or the internet. This obviously provides several advantages, which is why many individuals are willing to use these devices, since it keeps multiple useful devices in a simple shared interface that can even allow remote control, such as being able to connect to your smart doorbell while you're not at home to see if a package is being delivered or if somebody is trying to invade into your home. This interconnectedness has its drawbacks, however, as many of these devices are technically always on and constantly recording the area around them as they wait to be issued a command. An example of this is like an Alexa speaker waiting to be asked to play a song, but is constantly recording the audio around it in order to recognize when a command is issued to it. Or with the same front doorbell constantly recording your front porch at your home. These devices sharing login and possibly even financial information such as credit cards if they require a subscription or online purchase is also a vulnerability, as if one of them is hacked, your information is vulnerable and exposed on multiple devices simultaneously. Privacy policies are a way that companies protect their ability to access, store, and possibly sell an individual's information. While they are a step forward in protecting privacy rights in theory, in practice they are made to be extremely obtuse and hard for individuals to read and comprehend. Many services and products cannot even be used to their full functionality or at all if a company's privacy policy is not accepted, even if the product or service has already been paid for. This leads to many people not even attempting to read these policies. And when up to 80% of Americans claim to encounter at least one privacy policy a month, and only 22% of them actually reading the policies, this is a growing concern. The final major way that individuals freely expose their personal data is through social media, which is used not only to stay connected worldwide with friends and family, but also to network professional connections. The concern with privacy on social media is that many of these platforms are run by the same companies that are gathering and selling user data already. This can lead to breaches in individual security, privacy rights, as these companies are constantly attacking and sharing user data with each other and with advertisers. Now I will discuss some final ethical conclusions to the problems that have been discussed within this presentation. The addition of both willing and unwilling participation in sharing of individual user data leads to a large amount of this data being gathered and exchanged by companies and governments around the world on a daily basis. While it is easy to say the users who willingly share their information on websites and social media are ethically exposing this information to be used, the way in which companies and governments use the information can be described as unethical, even if they are receiving the information directly from the individual with their consent. Privacy policies alone are not enough protection for many individuals, and the way these policies are written provide more protection to the companies than to the individuals themselves. Security is also a double-edged sword as far as ethics are concerned, as emerging technologies such as facial recognition that we discussed on police body cams have been shown to help de-escalate police encounters, as both parties know that they are being recorded the whole time. However, a disadvantage of this is that simply being in the vicinity of an officer equipped with a body cam becomes a police encounter, as they are constantly monitoring you even if you are innocent of any crime. Lastly, the interconnectedness of devices provides ease of use and helps individuals save time and headache when using their personal and home devices. But privacy concerns are still abundant, as these devices are constantly monitoring the spaces they inhabit, and by being connected to one another can lead to breaches of personal privacy more easily. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you have learned some of the concerns and ethical issues pertaining to individual privacy rights in modern society.